Resisted sprinting is a simple and effective means of adding a load to the sprinting motion. Sometimes termed sport loading, dynamic resistance, or speed strength training, this method simply adds weight to your body by using a partner to provide an external resistance. Holding back the wearer of the harness makes it more difficult for them to sprint. This overloads the drive muscles and forces the nervous system to recruit greater muscle fibers. This in turn improves force production and corresponding explosive acceleration abilities. Fast twitch abilities are targeted and effectively conditioned to contract with greater velocity. To put it simply, if explaining this type of training to students or teams, we are trying to wake up their fast-firing or fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are up to 4 times as strong as slow-twitch muscle fibers. Fast-twitch motor units do not fire under moderate workloads. Care must be taken to ensure the correct levels of resistance are applied, as too great a load slows the drive motion and negatively affects running mechanics. Also note that this type of activity is very demanding, and the distances covered, repetitions and rest periods must initially be conservative and progressively overloaded. Distances should be a minimum of 5 meters and a maximum of 20 meters, as harness sprinting is much more intense than similar forms of speed strength training, namely weighted sled and parachute towing. Fatigue occurs much earlier as a result. Obviously, the type of drill, level of fitness and training experience, sport, and stage of the year will influence distances, rest periods, and volume of weekly sessions. Distances should be between 5 and 20 meters. Repetitions should be between 4 and 8. Rest periods should be between 1 and 3 minutes. This tends to look after itself in group situations as partners alternate between being the runner and the holder back. Volume should be between 1 and 3 sessions each week. Rest periods should be long enough to ensure near full recovery between repetitions if speed development is to be maximised. Harness sprinting is also excellent for developing a stable midsection and promoting a forward lean and torso position. This position is crucial for team and ball sport movement patterns, as it allows for much greater balance and stability. This enhances stopping, rapid direction change, and game-specific skills and reactions. Linear sprinting on the track tends to require a much more upright trunk position. The following series of drills outlines the progressions from a simple march to high intensity loaded and release sprinting. March. The march is a low-level introduction to speed strength development. Good posture and technique can be mastered before moving on to high-speed workouts. Start with the feet together and lean forward so there is a reasonably straight line between ankle, knee, hip, shoulder and ear. Emphasis is placed on reaching with the knee, toe over knee, snapping the elbows back, stable midsection, and triple extension, which is fully extending at the ankle, knee and hip to maximize propulsion. Distances of 20 meters are recommended for this activity. Skip. The skip progresses the march in the same manner as unloaded technique drills. The drive is maximal, ground contact should be minimized, leg recovery is at a faster rate, torso is stable and forward, and aggressive arm action is accentuated to assist with ground forces and knee drive. Key points: maximal drive, short ground contact, fast leg recovery, stable torso with a forward lean, aggressive arm action, and reach with the knee. Distances of 20 meters are recommended, with an immediate unloaded skip back to the starting position. Sprint. The sprint progresses the activity to maximal intensity. Emphasis must be placed on keeping control and maximizing the drive, as it is the drive that determines the propulsion forces and end velocity. Students can tend to start to reach with the foot when first attempting greater speed, and drive mechanics suffer, so it is important to emphasize reaching with the knee. Short choppy strides are important to ensure the foot does not land in front of the center of gravity. This lessens the drive. Note that harness sprinting is not designed to allow for maximum running speeds, as the load must be applied by another person who is moving at a fast walking speed. The activity specifically targets the drive abilities that, when unloaded in a normal sprinting gait, greatly increase propulsion and corresponding stride length. Distances of between 10 and 15 meters are recommended for this activity. let-goes. A let-go is when a loaded sprint is immediately followed by a free, unresisted sprint. This is known as contrast training, and the runners experience a sensation of being shot out of a cannon when released from the load. Greater training gains are experienced when combining loaded and unloaded movements. The trailing partner must yell the word "go" at the release point, so the front person knows exactly when the load is being taken away. These drills allow longer distances to be covered and the addition of sport-specific activities at top speed. For example, a change of direction or sporting skill such as hitting a tackle bag or picking up a ball can be incorporated at maximal speed. The trailing person can also perform a sprint from the position of the release. This increases the volume of activity in the session. This is recommended in a physical education class situation. Change the starting position of the trailing runner to develop starting speed from different positions. Add variety and challenge concentration. Distances of 5 to 15 meters loaded, followed by 10 to 13 meters unloaded, is recommended. Sport-specific direction change. The release distance and running direction should be determined by the sport and dominant movement patterns. I recommend that direction change at high speeds, either as a sharp sidestep or swerve, should ultimately be incorporated into speed strength sessions. Direction change at high speeds must be practiced like any other skill if they are to be improved upon. This pattern is an example of a cone setup that will enable 4 distinct step-in patterns. The angle of the side steps and distances between cones should be regularly adjusted for maximal transfer into the playing field. Lateral run. Lateral speed strength is one of the most crucial and unfortunately most neglected aspect of a well-rounded quickness and agility program. Too often linear speed is the focus, and the athletic ability to apply lateral ground forces is not strengthened. This leads to a lesser ability to quickly move laterally, stop, and change direction at high speeds. For example, when performing a sidestep, a tremendous amount of lateral strength is required to apply enough forces to drive the body on a different angle. Lateral weakness lengthens the ground contact time, which increases the braking forces, reduces propulsion ability when changing direction, and negatively affects the ability to stop and move explosively from left to right in court sports where this is a dominant movement pattern. This short space lateral speed has a great influence on the ability of players to create or close down space in sports such as netball, basketball, hockey and tennis. It is important that the feet do not cross over and the drive is emphasized, as this is where the propulsion forces come from. The non-driving leg should not reach. The leg should come straight up and movement is controlled by the extension or push of the inside leg. The same extension principles apply in that the drive leg should triple extend to maximize the extension. The shoulders remain square, as do the hips, as rotation will negate the benefits of the drill. Distances of 10 to 20 meters are recommended. A maximum of 2 to 3 repetitions on each side is also recommended. Note that this is a very demanding activity and as intensive as straight line drills. Key points include: keep square, keep the feet apart, triple extension.